Hello, Andrea. Welcome to the eLearn podcast. How are you today?
I'm good, thank you. Thank you for
It's
having
so
me, Ladek. Mhm.
it's so nice to meet you. Tell me, where are you sitting?
So right now I'm in my house.
Ah. But
Yes.
yeah, and what part of the world are you in?
So I'm in Honduras, Central America.
Oh wow, okay, Honduras. I wasn't familiar that I didn't know that SUMADI was based in Honduras. So you are the product manager for SUMADI, is that correct?
Yes, I'm my current role is product director for SUMADI products and
Hmm.
services. Mhm.
Okay, excellent. So you're product director. So as I do with many guests on this show, or not actually not many, every guest on this show, I'd love for you to just give us the first 30 to 60 seconds about who you are, where you came from, and what does the role as product director entail at Sumani?
Awesome, thank you. I am a computer science engineer. I have been in the education industry for the past 15 years. And right now, I'm working as a product director. That means that I'm capturing feedback and transforming that feedback and new requests based on customer feedback and market trends into new requirements for our product, Sumari, our online proctor solution. So I'm
That
taking back that feedback and requirements into the development teams and we build them.
Well, I'm just I love how you encapsulated that. Like that made what I'm sure is a very much more complex calendar. You just boil that down into two sentences, fantastic, perfectly. So for people who don't know or have never heard of Sumati, give us, again, like the 30 seconds of what is Sumati. You just mentioned it's an online proctoring service. So how does it work? What does it do?
So Sumari is an online proctor solution that provides secure, automated testing for online assessments. So we focused on integrity of the data and making sure that we can have the latest advancements in artificial technology and machine learning so that we can ensure that the student is having an appropriate behavior during an assessment.
Hmm. Why online? I mean, can you give me either a comparison to, or is there a reason why it's online proctoring rather than proctoring on my computer or in a classroom? Like, what's the difference?
So online, it's still in a computer, right?
Mhm.
The only thing is that this is for remote assessments, especially nowadays after the pandemic. So many higher education institutions and government institutions as well have moved their in-person assessments to remote assessments to make sure that we can also have a continuous operation. So when that happened, there was a high rise in terms of proctoring solutions on what can I do. Like universities worldwide were forced to close their doors, but they still needed to teach, right? And they still needed to evaluate the knowledge that the students were getting. So this is where Sumati came into place, and basically it's an alternative that reduces also cost and enables people worldwide to take an evaluation.
Hmm. Yeah, and I can. You have. It's a very easy sell to think. Why this might be necessary in today's hybrid world for sure. So, walk me through some of the benefits of assessing individuals online rather than either in an in-person setting or through other means.
So first of all, we are able to also avoid impersonation. So when you have an in-person assessment, people need to move. They need to go to a physical location, and you also need to invest in additional resources to have a physical space. Also, in terms of timing, you need to make sure that you schedule the assessment based on the in-person proctor that is going to be evaluating you. Now, the difference is that you can still avoid impersonation. You can have flag users based on their behavior, and at the same time, you can have a consolidated report based on that behavior, and that will definitely reduce high cost alternatives that you can
Mhm.
have based on an in-person evaluation.
Sure. So basically, I mean, the efficiencies are clear. What does it look and taste and smell like, to both a student and a company? So let's just say I'm going to be administering an online proctoring of, to 100 students. Do I have to download something onto my computer? Do you get control of my computer? Does it lock it? Like, or how does that work?
So we have different alternatives. We have a lockdown browser that will take control over your computer. You will get banned applications. An institution or a government organization can decide what are the applications that you're going to enable for a student during an online assessment. So we are able to monitor the usage of the computer during the assessment. And also, at the same time, through the use of artificial intelligence, we are augmenting a supervisor capacity. So now we are able to monitor whether you are the person that should be taking the exam. We do an identity scan. We do a face recognition during the entire assessment that we are validating against the student profile.
Hmm.
So based on that, we can have all of those benefits, and at the same time, you can take it from anywhere, right? Whether you're out in a different country at any time without any human intervention.
How does talk to me about bandwidth requirements? It sounds like you're adding a layer that could then be troublesome for maybe somebody in a low bandwidth area. I'm thinking about somebody on an oil platform, or maybe in a rural setting, or these types of things where I need to keep my continuous learning going, but I'm not, in a city or a place where there's high bandwidth. Is that a problem?
So we do have some minimum requirements that a person needs to have, but overall, it's a computer that anyone can get access to, and also a bandwidth that anyone can consume. So SUMADI is a solution that is born in the cloud. It's
Mm,
easy to integrate. So we are the way we have developed it. It's pretty easy to launch and also to run in a computer.
okay, that's really good.
Mhm.
What about privacy concerns? I know that that's a huge topic for many students and many educators these days about, where does my data go? Who has access to it? Can you talk to me a little bit about, does Sumati have interaction with student data, or is it solely? I guess I'll leave it there for you. What is the interaction with sort of the student data and privacy issues?
Yeah, so SUMADI is GDPR compliant in terms of security. We are built on top of a robust data security controls, upgrades, and mechanisms that detect any vulnerability.
Mm,
All the data is always going to be a part of the institution policy. So we don't owe or can use any data, and we have a control of the data and retention over a certain period of time. But most of all, so that institutions can verify the behavior for a student.
mm,
So we have that data protection impact assessment that we have built and are following all the security and privacy controls that are
okay.
recommended. Mhm.
And sort of one last question down that sort of data and student data area. What about biases in recognizing a student? Or, I know that there was some conversation with your colleagues in the room at our conference, recent conference here at Connected, around skin tone, around different features of individuals. How has that been addressed through Somati's programs?
So, based on the algorithm that we are using for the AI that is detecting that unwanted behavior, we are continuously updating and sending information reports around false positives. And also, it is a tool that is learning continuously. So, accessibility and bias research is something that we are taking into consideration to make sure that this is mitigated through the
Mm.
use of SUMADI.
You said those magical words that everybody's talking about these days, artificial intelligence. Um, how is AI impacting the future development of Sumati's tools? How you interact with, assessments and other platforms? What's like? Can you kind of give me your what does the near term future look like? Your predictions or like how things will change or continue to develop?
So AI and the division of Proctor solutions that are based on AI is growing more and more. And the reality is that we are able to augment the human capabilities through the use
Mm,
of it, reducing time, automating processes, and making sure that we can have results faster.
mm,
So the future, as I see it, is that we're going to be in a position soon where in the education industry, which is also an industry that is not always using all the latest advancements in terms of technology, but that will also come in place in terms of updating their policies and their day-to-day activities so that we can take advantage of technology.
mm. What other challenges are you foreseeing here? Maybe outside the artificial intelligence realm, or in any other aspect that Sumadi is looking at, like challenges around student interaction, challenges with the hybrid, modality that we're in. Is there anything else that Sumadi and you are paying attention to as the product director?
Yes. So right now, one of the new verticals that we are working on is live proctoring. That means that in addition to our current AI-based flagging mechanism, we will also have human intervention so
Hmm.
that we can consolidate results, so that we can double check and have machine learning supervised models and bring that information back to the institution. One of the biggest challenges is that institutions are not used to having proctoring reports. This is
Sure.
something new, right, for them, because you're used to just going to the classroom, putting the assessment, and then evaluating the results. But now with an proctor solution, you also need to go through reporting, so reporting and making sure that we give enough information and that is pretty clear, but at the same time detailed and at a high level, enough for a faculty member is one of the biggest challenges that we've had to make sure that this information is valuable and that they don't see it as an additional responsibility, but that it adds value for them.
Hmm. So take maybe go one step further there. How is this adding value? Like, how is this virtual model changing maybe how we're teaching, because we know we're teaching to we want certain outcomes to happen, right? Or are
Mhm.
learners approaching learning in a different way? And is this changing what it means to be a professional? Is it changing the way, what it means to be, sort of a part of the workforce or an educational institution overall?
Yes, definitely. Hybrid education methods are now a reality worldwide, whether it's for postgraduate or graduate degrees, because you get access to so many tools right now, even with the recent launch of ChatGPT.
Hmm.
Now you can have questions, answers super fast.
Super fast.
So, yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, super fast. So accreditation, avoiding impersonation, identifying unethical behavior, and making sure that you can have all of that information in a consolidated way. It's always going to be valuable,
Mm.
right? Because now
Mhm.
you are able, from a remote setup, you are able to identify whether a student is consulting an additional source or not.
Right. Well, then
Mhm.
take that. Is a solution like Sumadia online proctoring, is this something that I could use at the primary school level, or like where does it become feasible to, monitor that human to have this online proctoring work? Does it work for little kids, or is this only sort of an adult based tool?
So our solution is pretty dynamic and configurable, customizable. Sometimes for kids, the biggest concern is the biometric information that we are capturing
Hmm.
because you need to register your face and your profile, and then somebody monitors it during the assessment. But we also have a tier level for our product that does not do that. So
Mm.
it just captures and does a lockdown browser, banned applications, audio monitoring. So we can have different levels applied to
Hmm.
depending on the audience and the
Oh, yeah, wow,
target.
that's pretty. And does
Mhm.
it also work, and I'm sorry, this is kind of a curveball, but you're the product director, so you probably know, like, for somebody who has different learning needs or different assessment needs, such as, someone who's neurodivergent, or maybe, has to take an assessment in a different way because of their particular support needs. Is that also considered in your product, or would you recommend, that person needs a different solution?
So accessibility has always been a key concern for us at SUMADI. So for that, we have been going through different cycles and design cycles to make sure that our product capabilities are also allowing them to take any type of assessment.
Hmm.
So in terms of our flows, our current flows for registering your profile or doing a system requirement check or starting an assessment, we do have validations to make sure that anyone can take it. Mhm.
Wow. Mm, I'm trying to poke holes in this, but man, you've got an answer for everything. It's fantastic. So let me, the final question that I have for you is something that I ask everyone on the podcast here, and that is, from your perspective, you're product director of this online proctoring platform. What do you see in the future? Like, what are you most excited about in 6 months, 12 months out, maybe even 18 months, in education and technology, in your solution? Like, what are the things that are changing that, or that you expect in the near term, that gets you
So
excited?
in terms of the near term, we have also launched a new platform at SUMADI that's called SUMADI Exams. That is
Mhm.
an online testing tool. So right now, the main focus has been around our Proctor solution, which we have a dependency for in terms of integrating with different solutions. So our SUMADI Exams tool will also allow us to create assessments, manage questions bank, do a full integration, and the entire ecosystem of SUMADI will now enable you to do end-to-end testing. So in addition to that, we are also starting to integrate with blockchain technologies to make sure that we increase the security and we put that extra layer of decentralized network. So that one and moving into the live proctoring solution space is one of the things that I'm looking forward the most.
Fantastic. Andrea Martinez, thank you so much for taking time out of what I'm sure is an incredibly busy day. You are the product director at SUMADI, and I'll encourage, I guess, how should anybody get in touch with you, or how should they reach out if they're interested in learning more about SUMADI?
So they can send an email to our customer support department,
Mm-hmm.
and for that one, I don't have the.
How about sales@sumadi.net?
I think maybe yes.
And I'm sure they can also find Sumadi on social media, correct?
Yes, correct. And we have our website, sumari.net.
Exactly. Fantastic.
Hmm.
Awesome. Well, we will make sure that we put in the show notes the correct email for anyone to reach out to you. But thank you so much for your time today, and I really appreciate it.
Awesome. Thank you. Bye.